We're going to go straight to business news now. Cami Knight is with us here on set. Cami, we know China has been fairly insulated from the closure of the Strait of Hormuz. Data out today, though, showing its exports are really suffering this month.
That's right. China has huge stockpiles of oil, which cushion the impact on the energy front, but its exports account for a large chunk of its GDP, which means it's still exposed to global shocks. Its export growth completely missed estimates for March, with exports growing at their slowest pace in 6 months at only 2.5% last month from a year earlier. It's a huge contrast with the combined 21.8% surge in the first 2 months of the year and shows the Iran war is weighing on global demand. The closure of the Strait of Hormuz pushed up the costs of materials by disrupting energy flows, and many Chinese factories saw their profits squeezed. US tariffs on Chinese exports have also had an impact, with shipments to the US plummeting more than 26%. Imports, meanwhile, have surged, but not necessarily in volume, more in cost, and crucially, not because of particularly strong domestic demand. Chinese leaders have set an annual economic growth target for 2026 of 4.5% to 5%. That's the lowest since 1991. We'll be getting its first quarter GDP figures on Thursday.
Now, next to something completely different, hundreds of Hollywood stars have come out in opposition to that planned media merger that could reshape, really, the US entertainment industry.
About 1,400 actors, directors and producers have added their names to an open letter denouncing the proposed acquisition of Warner Borthers Discovery by Paramount Skydance. The $111 billion merger would bring the number of major US film studios down to just 4. And it comes after streaming giant Netflix walked away from its own bid to acquire Warner Brothers. Brian Quinn has the latest.
Bringing out the star power. Some of Hollywood's biggest names have signed an open letter opposing the merger of Warner Brothers Discovery with Paramount Skydance, saying their industry can ill afford yet another round of corporate consolidation.
Competition is essential for a healthy economy and a healthy democracy. So is thoughtful regulation and enforcement. Media consolidation has already weakened one of America's most vital global industries.
More than 1,400 actors, producers, and directors, including Joaquin Phoenix, Kristen Stewart, and Ben Stiller, have added their names as plans for the merger gather speed. Last year, Warner Brothers, home to franchises like Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings, as well as CNN and HBO, put itself up for sale. A bidding war ensued, with an $82 billion offer from streaming giant Netflix appearing to come out on top. But in February, Paramount Skydance upped its bid to $111 billion, and Netflix walked away. Paramount Skydance is run by David Ellison, son of Oracle founder Larry Ellison, one of the world's richest men and a close ally of Donald Trump. The company itself is the product of a merger whose regulatory approval by Trump's FCC came only after the Paramount-owned CBS settled a $16 million lawsuit brought by Trump. Opponents of the merger are now pinning their hopes in part on regulatory action, with the California State Attorney General saying his office is investigating the deal. The U.S. film industry has already been battered in recent years by the COVID pandemic, labor strikes, tech disruption, and competition from abroad. Paramount says it remains committed to quality theatrical releases and to supporting talent. The merger is set for a shareholder vote later this month.
Brian Quinn reporting. And finally from Cami, the man accused of throwing a Molotov cocktail at the home of the OpenAI CEO, Sam Altman, is facing now attempted murder charges.
Attempted murder and attempted arson. It's one of the first known violent attacks of its kind targeting an AI leader. Daniel Moreno Gama is a 20-year-old man from Texas who also threw a chair at the glass doors of OpenAI's San Francisco headquarters while saying he wanted to burn it down and kill anyone inside. He was arrested at the scene. Let's hear from the prosecutor.
We have charged as follows: attempted murder for victim Sam Altman, including an allegation that it was willful, deliberate, and premeditated, as well as an enhancement for the possession and use of a deadly weapon, which was the incendiary device. Attempted murder for the security guard that was at Mr. Altman's home with the same allegation and enhancement.
Now, the US Justice Department alleges he was found with documents advocating against AI and calling for crimes to be committed against AI executives and investors. The suspect should be hearing the charges against him at an arraignment this afternoon.
All to follow later on, Cami. Thanks a lot, Cami. Night there with the business. Straight to